Today, we're conducting a forensic investigation into a crime that happens right out in the open. It's a silent theft that unfolds not in some dark alley, but in the living rooms of the people we love the most. We are going to deconstruct the entire system of caregiver exploitation, and by the end of this, you'll have a real, practical defensive guide to protect your family. Okay, let's get into it.
You know, this quote really just cuts right to the heart of it, doesn't it? We spend so much time and energy worrying about online scams, about threats from far away, but the single greatest financial danger often comes from a place we're trained to trust. The ultimate camouflage for a high-stakes heist isn't a ski mask, it's the simple, disarming act of providing help.
And let's be absolutely clear, this is a massive, massive problem. We're talking about $28 billion. That's the estimated cost of financial elder abuse every single year in the United States alone. So note, this is not just a few isolated incidents. This is a widespread, systematic industry of exploitation, and we have to understand how it operates if we're going to have any chance of stopping it.
To do that, we're going to walk through a 5-act forensic investigation. First, we'll look at how care itself becomes the weapon. Then we're going to pull back the curtain on the perpetrator's playbook. After that, we'll dive into the psychology that makes this trap so darn effective. And finally, we'll build a practical, non-confrontational defense system, all based on one core principle: verification.
So, let's begin our investigation with Act 1, the camouflage of care. See, this is the starting point. The entire crime is built on exploiting one of the most fundamental human vulnerabilities there is, the need for help and connection as we get older. It's built on a foundation of trust.
The entry point is something called functional dependency. Now that's just a fancy way of saying that someone needs help with the basics. You know, getting groceries, managing their medicine, personal hygiene. For the vast majority of caregivers, this is a sacred duty. But for a predator, this dependency is the key that unlocks the door. It creates this huge power imbalance that they are absolute experts at leveraging.
And here's the thing, the theft doesn't happen all at once. This is not a smash and grab job. It's a tactic called incremental encroachment. It's a slow, quiet, systematic takeover. It starts with, oh, let me help you with the bills, or I can pick up the mail for you. Every single step seems logical, even helpful. But what's really happening is a gradual process of turning care into absolute control, making it almost invisible to the victim and even to their own family.
That gradual encroachment leads us directly to Act 2, the isolation playbook. And trust me, this isn't random. It's a machine. There's a methodical, 6-step system designed to do one thing: isolate a person and convert their life savings into the perpetrator's personal bank account.
And the playbook is chillingly effective. Step 1, targeting. They find someone with money and not a lot of social support. Step 2, indispensability. They start doing unsolicited favors to build up that dependency. This sets the stage for Step 3, the privacy partition, where they systematically start cutting off family and friends. From there, it's the merger, getting administrative control of the money. Then, extraction. They start taking the assets. And finally, concealment, using the victim's declining health as a cover story to deflect suspicion.
Okay, pay close attention to this slide because this right here, this is the crucial moment. The caregiver, all under the guise of being helpful, takes over the mail, the phone calls, the bills. They create what's called information asymmetry. Basically, they now control everything the victim sees and hears about their own finances. They become the sole gatekeeper of that person's financial reality.
And once they control the flow of information, that's where the manipulation flips. The helper starts actively poisoning the victim's most important relationships. They'll say things like, you know, your children are just too busy for you. Or even more brutally, they're just waiting for you to die to get their hands on your money. They're building an emotional wall, brick by brick, until the victim is totally isolated with the one person they think they can trust.
And all of this leads to the end game of the isolation playbook, the psychological choke point. This is that moment where the victim, now completely dependent and totally isolated, signs over power of attorney or adds the caregiver to their bank accounts. This is the administrative merger. They're told it's just for convenience, to make life a little simpler. But in reality, they have just handed over the administrative keys to their entire life.
Now, this brings up a huge question, right? Why? Why do smart, capable, loving people fall for this? Well, the answer is that this system doesn't just exploit financial loopholes, it exploits our deep-seated human biology. These are psychological weapons, and honestly, anyone can be vulnerable to them.
At the very core is a powerful concept called the reciprocity heuristic. It's that deep, innate feeling of obligation we all have when someone does something for us. When a person is providing daily, intimate care, the victim feels this profound biological sense of debt, and this creates a psychological short circuit. All of their natural skepticism gets overridden by gratitude. The predator weaponizes this feeling, making theft feel like a gift that they are owed for all their hard work.
And they reinforce this feeling with a powerful story. We call it the martyr script. On the surface, you hear things like, "I sacrificed everything for you." But what's the forensic reality? That phrase is used to legitimize their constant presence and their control. When they say, "Your children only want your money," that isn't an expression of concern. It's a strategic move to isolate the victim from any outside oversight. And "I'm the only one who truly cares," well, that's the final nail, creating total and complete emotional dependence.
This script is backed up by some specific, nasty gaslighting tactics. You've got the legacy ruse, where they convince the victim to change their will to reward the one person who truly cared. They'll create decision fatigue by hiding mail or moving objects around, making the victim feel incompetent and more willing to just hand over control. They use authority props, like fake medical notes, to look legitimate. And most crucially, they create a silence window, weaponizing a person's greatest fear by saying, "Don't tell your kids about this, or they'll just put you in a home." It ensures their secrecy.
Okay, I know that was heavy. We've dissected the crime. But now, we're going to shift from analysis to defense. It's time to build a proactive, structured system for protection. We're going to move from a position of vulnerability to one of empowerment.
So here's the key question. This system of exploitation thrives in secrecy. It thrives in darkness. The solution then has to be introducing light. But how do we do that without making accusations and starting a huge family war? Well, the answer is to frame these solutions not as tools of suspicion, but as tools of smart, responsible verification.
The absolute cornerstone of this defense is the dual overseer protocol. The principle is simple, but it is incredibly powerful. You must separate care from coin. The person who is providing the day-to-day physical care should never, ever be the same person who has sole, unchecked control over the finances. One person, the care overseer, handles well-being. A different person, the financial overseer, handles the money. This simple division of duties breaks the entire exploitation model.
And you support that protocol with a toolkit. First, the monthly audit rule. Schedule regular financial reviews with a trusted third party, like an accountant. This moves you from blind trust to documented verification. Second, become a digital sentinel. Set up view-only banking access for a trusted family member. They can see transactions but can't move any money. Third, use technology. Set up real-time alerts for any large transactions. And finally, if you're hiring a caregiver, use a formal care contract from day one. Define the duties, the hours, the pay. This professionalizes the whole arrangement, and it breaks that manipulative martyr loop.
So let's bring all this together for the final verdict. We've taken the machine apart, we've understood its psychological engine, and we've built a defense against it. Now, let's distill the one core takeaway you need to remember.
Here is the forensic summary. Caregiver exploitation is not just theft. It is an isolation-based asset harvesting system. It works by using emotional grooming and an administrative merger to completely bypass the natural oversight of a family. It relies on dependency and the victim's own confusion to succeed. And just seeing it for the system that it is, that's the first step to dismantling it.
And this leads us to the ultimate litmus test, the core protective principle that you have to remember. True, genuine care has absolutely nothing to hide. It thrives in the light of transparency. So if a helper insists on working in the dark, if they resist simple financial transparency, if they hide the money, they are hiding a crime, period. So the bottom line is this: we simply cannot let our love and our relief cloud our judgment. Protection is not about distrust, it's about responsible stewardship. This final thought is a protective mantra for every family. Independence requires transparency. I love with my heart, but I verify with the ledger. This isn't cynical, it's smart, and it's how you protect the people you love the most.